Well, as we know, Alexander Volkanovski is stepping up on short notice, taking on Islam Mahakehev. That alone is a scary feat. 10 days notice, fighting a guy that's already beaten you, flying to the other side of the world and all the rest of it, and making weight on a very, very short time frame. Let's remember, Volkanovski, at the time of accepting the fight, was 181 pounds, okay? So he's going to cut 26 pounds. 26, 155, 26 pounds, right? That's not an easy thing to do. Also, Islam Mahakehev, apparently, according to Daniel Cormier, outside of camp, he's walking around at over 200 pounds.
And you also weigh 200. I mean, it's not like you don't weigh 200.
So both of these guys have tremendous weight cuts, and they've also got very, very tough fights. It's going to be brilliant. I can't wait for it. But a little storyline that's going around right now that Volkanovski has 2 fights, okay? He has 1 fight against Islam Mahakehev, which is going to be tough because he lost last time out after a full camp. And the second fight is against Father Time. Yeah, that's right, Father Time, because Alexander Volkanovski is 35 years old compared to the 31 years of Islam Mahakehev, right? In the lighter weight classes, when you're 35 or 36, your body starts to diminish a little bit. The lighter weight classes, they rely on speed, instincts, reflexes, reaction time, way more than what heavyweights do, or light heavyweights, or to a certain degree middleweights. But that is about the time that you slowly start to deteriorate. That's why a lot of professional sports, you don't see them in their mid to late 30s. And when you look at the history, check this out. When you look at the history of this sport, at 35 years old, under 185 pounds, no fighter has ever won a title fight 35 years old or higher. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. Let's have a look at this right now. So, Joseph Benavidez fought Davison Figueiredo, 35. He lost. Benavidez, again, 35. Davison Figueiredo against Brandon Moreno, he was 35. Uriah Faber lost to Dominic Cruz at 35. Cruz lost to Henry Cejudo at 35. Dillashaw to Aljamain at 36. Cejudo to Aljamain at 36. Kenny Florian to Aldo at 37. Frankie Edgar was beat by Holloway at 37. The Korean Zombie lost to Volkanovski at 35. Josh Emmett was 37. Ferguson, 36. Michael Chandler, 35. Pat Miletich, 35 to Carlos Newton. Throwback, Gil Castillo to Matt Hughes, another throwback. He was 37. Maia lost to Woodley at 39. Woodley lost to Kamaru Usman at 36. Masvidal at 35 lost to Usman. Masvidal lost again to Usman at 36. And Usman lost twice in a row to Leon Edwards, headshot, dead. So, as I say, when you look at the history of it, it's kind of fascinating. But when you break it down, like I said before, in the lighter weight classes, you start getting older. Okay, so not only does he have to fly off to the other side of the world on short notice, not only does he have to face an opponent that's already beaten him, he also has to cut 26 pounds, which is no easy feat. He's also, as I said, got to beat Father Time. But let's look at this. Volkanovski's 35, sure. But he didn't make his UFC debut, or his MMA debut, should I say, until 2012. So he's been doing MMA for 11 years. Before that, he played a lot of rugby. He's been an athlete most of his life. But he hasn't had the wear and tear. It's not like he's been doing this for 20 years. Don't get me wrong, 11 years is a long time. And it's long enough for you to need surgeries, like he just had a few months ago. It's long enough for there to be wear and tear on the body, on the mind, on the jaw, and all the rest of it. But when you look at Volkanovski, there is no wear and tear on the body, right? Yeah, he just had surgery, but so what? No big deal. Little cleanup of the elbow, right? There's no wear and tear on the mind. The man is so confident that he's flying out to Abu Dhabi to take on a guy that beat him on short notice. And if you speak to Volkanovski, he's going to knock him out, right? Because he is taking it on short notice, because he's fresh and he doesn't allow himself to get out of shape. So this narrative that he's fighting Father Time as well, I disagree. It's doing the rounds online. I stumbled across it just a minute ago and I thought, well, this is worthy of a video. Because, yeah, you could argue he's got 3 fights. He's got Islam, he's got the age, and he's also got the weight. Now, the weight is going to be a big one. It really is. So, cutting weight is a culture that we have in mixed martial arts that we inherited from wrestling, okay? In boxing and kickboxing, they don't really cut weight. There is some fighters. I think Canelo Alvarez does a few pounds, but people aren't doing 15, 20, 26 pounds like Volk has to do. They're just not. As I say, we inherited that from wrestling. Back in my day, I never cut weight. I used to walk around at 205 pounds. When I fought Elvis Sinisic at UFC 70 in Manchester, my first fight in the UK, the day before, I was so stressed out doing tickets for everybody. I was starving. I was driving home, and I went past a service station. I saw a sign for Burger King. I went in and got a triple Whopper with cheese and bacon, fries, and a Diet Coke. You know, you got to keep it slim. Triple Whopper with cheese and bacon and a Diet Coke. Anyway, I scoffed it all. I ate it all. And I downed my drink. And you know that noise right at the end when the drink is finished? It suddenly dawned on me, oh my God, I'm stepping on the scale tomorrow. What have I done? But I still just walked on the scale. Now, I lost to Rashad Evans, and I won that fight, but I lost to Rashad Evans, and that was my reason to coming down to 185, because he was cutting weight. He was trying to kill himself to make weight, and I was sitting in a Chinese restaurant in Newark, New Jersey, UFC 78, 2008. I'm going to bring it back to Volk in a second, and I realized, hold on a minute, I'm not making the sacrifices I can do to be the best version of myself, right? So making weight, it's a hard process. But for every gram of carbohydrate that we ingest, I'm talking about the diet side of things now, for every gram of carbohydrate that we ingest, our body temporarily hangs on to 4 grams of water. That's why if you go off and you have a pizza, you eat a bunch of fries, you eat a lot of carby foods, the next day if you get on the scale, you're going to be significantly heavier. But that is just temporary water weight. Here's a little diet advice for you. This is why keto diet works in the short term. Well, the long term, they will work as well. But, you know, you see these fad diets where they say, guaranteed, 1 week, you will lose 10 pounds. Now, of course, it all depends on the individual and it depends on the diet. But generally, if you cut out all carbohydrates and you had a terrible diet before, you were ingesting a lot of your calories through drinks and things like that, you were eating pizzas and burgers, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot of salt and it's a lot of carbohydrate. And your body is carrying a lot of water weight. And when fighters like Volkanovski and Islam this weekend, when they cut weight, and like everyone in the UFC, that's what they're doing. They're manipulating their water weight. So he's got an extreme task on his hand. He really does. And so does Islam, because making 155 is never easy for Islam. He's very, very big at 155. But I don't think either man is going to miss weight. When I took my fight against Luke Rockhold for the belt at UFC 199, I got on the scale. I took it in 2.5 weeks, so I had a bit more time than Volk. I got on the scale. I was 216 or 17 pounds. So I had a 31 or a 32 pound cut. And I still did it. In fact, it was the easiest weight cut of my life. It's weird how that happened, you know, but you get in you start downing multiple gallons of water every day, distilled water. You flush out all the toxins. You flush out all the salt and the sodium. You stop having any carbohydrate whatsoever, and you start pissing like a goddamn racehorse. It's annoying. You're waking up in the middle of the night and you need a piss every 2 minutes, okay? And then the final stretch, every day you get out of bed, you're a pound lighter, you're 2 pounds lighter, you're 3 pounds lighter, you're getting closer and closer and closer. And then you get to that final cut. That's when you get in the salt bath. That's when you put the plastics on. That's when you get in the sauna. You start running on the treadmill, hitting pads in a plastic sauna suit and all the rest of it. You start doing the really, really hard bit. And then when that's all done, you weigh in, you replenish, and you get back to your full health. So the weight will be an issue, but it won't be an issue. They're going to make weight. The age, 35 years old, historically, he's going against the trend here. He's going against history. Volkanovski is trying to break history. He's trying to become a 2-weight division champ. He's trying to beat Islam Mahakehev in kind of his own backyard. And he's trying to break this mold, this trend of fighters who are 35 years or older, never winning a title fight under 185 pounds. And then he's going to beat Islam Mahakehev as well. So it's a tough task. It is a tough task for anybody. Volk certainly got his hands full. Islam has got his hands full as well. And I'm starving. All this talk of food, my wife's cooking the steak out there. I am starving. I'm going to go in there. I'm on a diet myself, though. So it's all keto because I've been putting the water weight on myself. So I'm going to have steak with a salad, tomato and mozzarella salad, and then some mushrooms. Keto, baby. But there it is. Diet advice from Bisping. Volkanovski, will he be the one to book the trend? Will he be the one to break the cycle? Will he be the one to take the belt from Islam Mahakehev on the second go? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll see you soon.